Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this literally does not work. All right, so this week is a very important week. One, we get the schedule release from the NFL. Later on this week, we'll be doing a live stream during that time, although most of the schedule will be leaked throughout the day, so we'll be updating as soon as we hear things and so forth. One interesting thought was Peter King said that he thinks that the season opener will be Tampa Bay versus either the Buffalo Bills or the Dallas Cowboys. If you're asking me as far as which matchup would probably get more people watching it, I'd probably say the Cowboys versus Tampa Bay versus the Bills. But, you know, I went through that in another video, and I'm not going to waste your time on that now. But an interesting thing as we sit here and talk about the season, there's so many variables, so much change that's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be really a matter of how things fit. Now, one thing that is strange about the NFC East is, for whatever reason, by hook or crook, teams that win the division, even after winning the Super Bowl, never get better. In fact, they get worse. Only 2 times since the 2003-2004 season have teams that have won the division not gotten worse. There's only 2 teams that at least held serve with the same amount of wins. On average, the winning division team drops by 4.1 games. It's staggering to think that 6 times, 7 times, even 8 losses more the following year after winning the division. It's unbelievable. But one of those things or reasons why you could look at that and say, maybe there's a reason to that, is because of the schedule. As a division winner, you're going to play more division winners than you are if you're the division loser. Hence, it's a little bit easier to go from worst to first. And there's, of course, the natural, flow where a team is good one year, maybe a one-year wonder, and they come back down to earth. One thing that will definitely be in the Dallas Cowboys' favors, as well as the Philadelphia Eagles, is the teams with the most games versus opponents that made the playoffs last year. Okay? So if you're playing this year, if you're the Steelers or the Packers, you're playing 10 games against teams that were in the playoffs this past year. 10! If you're the Ravens, the Bengals, the Vikings, the Lions, Seahawks, or Cardinals, you're playing 9 games against playoff teams. If you are the Titans, the Texans, the Raiders, the Bears, the Rams, or the 49ers, you've got 8 games against playoff teams. That's pretty bad. If you think about that, at least half of your games on all of those teams, well, 8 is not really, okay, you're almost half because now it's 17 games. All of those teams are playing playoff teams every other week or more. The 2 teams with the fewest, it's almost unbelievable. We only have 5 games. It's funny because I've talked about this before. I've talked about our schedule. I said, listen, when you think about it, the Eagles and Cowboys, we only have 5 games against playoff teams. Actually, it's 6 because Washington was there. So when you think about this, okay. Think about our schedule. We play the NFC East. We got the Giants twice. We've got the Eagles twice, and I honestly don't believe that either of those teams are going to be playoff teams. They're division games. They're always tough, but I don't believe that they're going to be great. And then you have the 7-9 division champion Washington football team. Their defense is going to be really good. We'll see how Fitzmagic does, but Fitzmagic is usually good for about 4 games, and then he does a disappearing act. So 2 of our playoff games are against Washington. That's half of our schedule right there. Then we play the NFC South. Tampa Bay, of course, Super Bowl champs. That's going to be hell. We have Atlanta, and we have Carolina. Okay. And then you have New Orleans without Drew Brees. They have a great defense. I don't know how Shameless Winston or Tyson Hill is going to be. Not exactly the same as if Drew Brees is there and healthy. Then we play the AFC West, which is the Raiders. John Gruden should be getting a lot more flack for his coaching job. Denver, who still doesn't really have a quarterback. San Diego, which is up and coming. And, of course, Kansas City. Kansas City being another one of those playoff teams. So you've got Kansas City, you got New Orleans, you got Tampa Bay, you got Washington, and you have Kansas City. And then we also play the Cardinals, and we play New England. And New England, I think, will rebound. So in terms of our schedule, we have a very, very favorable one when you think that we have the lowest amount of games against playoff teams. So along with that, now we have to start thinking about who's going to be here. Now, when you're in the draft, the key in the draft is this. You need to hit on your first, second, third round draft picks. After that, it's really more of, you get lucky. Sometimes you hit on and have a guy who's going to become a Hall of Famer who's in the fourth round. But generally speaking, you need to hit on your early picks. That first round pick needs to be a starter day one. That second round pick needs to become a starter as well. Not only that number one pick needs to be an impact player. Third round picks should be at least depth and possible rotational player. Fourth round picks need to be a special team standout in depth. That's when you look at a draft and say it's successful. And so now we know where our defense has been. We've gone through, we've drafted tons and tons of defensive players. And you start looking back now at somebody like Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill, this is really going to be a prove-it year for him. The Cowboys invested a number 2 pick, in fact, the highest pick we had in that draft, on Tristan Hill. And when you look at his rookie season where he fell asleep on Isaiah Thomas and the other person who got suspended with him is no longer on the team with Antoine Woods, the writing's kind of on the wall for all of these guys that you better wake the fuck up. Excuse my language. But this team is going to be about something. Now, the thing with Tristan Hill, last year he was actually playing really, really well. Before he tore his ACL, he was playing about 63% of the snaps. If I look at the stats, he had 13 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 6 quarterback pressures, which was really good. It was really good. He didn't get any sacks. But, then it got injured. Well, now the Cowboys have gone through, and you've gotten some different players in here, of course. The Bohemian Beast. You've got Gallimore, who, of course, was coming along and playing really, really well. You signed guys like Urban and things. So the Cowboys, and I actually love what the Cowboys are doing. The Cowboys have signed some people that may not make this team. They brought in some free agents, and veterans are looking around and understanding that we got to perform if we're going to be here. And this, even though Tristan Hill is a second-round draft pick, doesn't matter. You got to perform or we're going to get rid of you because we're going to be about something this season. And he is going to need to come into training camp and from day one give them something to hope for. Now, to his benefit, the fact that the Cowboys are going to be going to more of a 3-4 as a base, which is really 3 defensive linemen and then outside linebacker / edge rushers, okay? To me, an outside linebacker really is a defensive end that's just standing up. Yes, it will do a little bit of pass coverage, but more than anything else, it is really an edge rusher. I think about Charles Haley when we were at JMU. Charles Haley was actually a middle linebacker, and then they reverted him to outside linebacker, in which case that's where he earned his money and became a Hall of Famer. You don't think of an outside linebacker as a traditional linebacker that's out there covering and run. It's basically your job is to get upfield, have outside contain, and get the quarterback's ass. That's what it is. Get me the ball. And so that's where you've got D-Law and Randy Gregory that'll be more outside linebackers. And now you need a good rotation of guys on the defensive line. And the thing that Dan Quinn likes to do more than anything else is he likes to have a good rotation to keep throwing those bodies in there that are fresh to get after you guys. I'm sorry, my recording thing just keeps cutting out, and I'm just making sure that we are still recording. So there's an opportunity for Tristan Hill here, but he's got to take advantage of it from day one. All right, so make sure you guys will be doing our live stream in about 4 hours from now. We'll be here. We'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. One expert out there gave the Dallas Cowboys a D for their draft, and I want to dissect that tonight and dig into the Dallas Cowboys. Did they do enough to compete for this year? With that being said, I got some more work I got to do. As always, friends, I will see you later.